Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version, a podcast dedicated to hearing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and if you are new to this podcast, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, and share. Today, I am sharing the screen with Jessica. I am doing a 3x3 power talk again, which means we have each prepared 3 questions for each other with no clue as to what the questions are. We are going to alternate turns and stay vulnerable in the process in order to inspire those listening. So first of all, I have to apologize because I was literally waiting for Jessica, wondering where she was up to the last minute, not realizing I had not sent her the link. So thank you for being patient with me.
That is totally okay. I'm so glad to be here again. Thanks for inviting me back.
Of course. Thank you. I was hoping, well, first of all, congratulations. We haven't talked since you got married.
Yes, thank you very much.
How is it?
It is not much different than it was before. We were shacking up.
Yes.
I think buying a house together, which we did before we got married, and selling my house that I own by myself was more of a commitment than anything else. So
did you feel that?
Yeah. So this one was easy, I think.
Wow. That was probably a little bit heavy.
You know what? It felt so right that I didn't even question it. I was like,
wow.
Ready to move forward and make those changes. So yeah, it's all felt different than the last time when I was crying outside the hotel the night before the wedding, wondering what was I doing with my life. This time, like, just happy. So.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I want you to share. You always look so fabulous. I watch your videos all the time and you're always so fashionable. I want you to tell everybody what you do before we actually jump into our podcast here.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I do 3 things. The first and number one thing is I own a boutique called Opal 6 Boutique. You can find me at opal6.com. 6 is spelled out. I'm also on Facebook. I've got a group where I go live and show clothes and other things. So I do that. I also help women who want to create a boutique, do it using drop shippers from the United States, so you don't have to invest a lot of money. And I've also been recently helping to do health coaching. So yeah, that is what I do.
I love that. I absolutely love everything that you do and everything that you stand for. And I'm so thankful that you're taking a little bit of time out of your day today to play this little game. Hopefully we will be diving into some really cool things. Is this how you spell your website, by the way?
Yep, that's me.
Awesome. I love that. Cool. So who wants to go first?
How about you go first?
Okay, I'll go first. What is my first question? Okay, so considering you're married, just recently married, I thought I would kind of stay on that same path. Okay. You have a very awesome perspective because you've done the whole codependency thing, and now you're brand new and improved and finding your power in your world. So my first question to you is, how can partners prevent themselves from being totally codependent in a relationship?
I think that it is important to find balance between the things that you have in common and common friendships, and also the things that you don't have in common, and embrace that for each other. So Adam loves chess. He loves sci-fi movies, which I don't. He is not as social as I am. He enjoys being social at times, but he also likes having some time by himself. So he embraces the times where I just want to go and hang out with my friends, or be in a different room watching trash TV or whatever. And we're really happy to give each other that space. And I know that if I ever say to him, hey, my girlfriend just called and wants to go have dinner, he's not going to care because he'll just go take care of his own dinner, and he's happy to see me be happy. And if I am invited over to somebody's house with Adam and I know that he is not up for going, I almost never tell him that I want him to go. Like every once in a while, there's an occasion where I'm like, it's so and so's birthday, or it's really important that you're there. But for the most part, if he wants to go, he's invited, and if he doesn't, I'm okay with it. If he wants to stay home and take his weekend to chill. So I think that that is really, really important.
I love that. As far as, the differences between your last, I'm sure it wasn't your last relationship, but the relationship where you were having lots of turmoil versus the relationship now, how did you deal with any triggers at all as far as a pull for power going into this new one, where things were like triggering you as far as like reminding you of your ex, but not necessarily at all the same?
So possibly the opposite. So Adam is, I set out to find somebody 100% opposite from my ex. And I felt like I had too many responsibilities weighing on my shoulders. I still have issues with money because just trying to remind myself that I'm not living in lack anymore has been hard. So when we got together, I was just like, I would love to just hand you the bills so that I don't have to worry about them. And he loves bills. He loves retirement funds and investments and budgeting and all that stuff. So instead of having an issue with holding on to power, I felt like I needed to release a lot of those things that I was holding on and give it up to him so that I could say he is not the same person, and I need to not ruin this by dwelling on the things that have happened in the past. And so, yeah, so I give the opposite. I don't want to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you know who Grant Cardone is?
Don't.
Oh wow. Okay. So he's he's like a Mongol as far as money and wealth and real estate and all this stuff. And his wife just recently kind of joined his team. He has a huge presence online, and his wife came out with this new I guess program or lifestyle, and it's called Create Your Own Empire or something. And she talks about giving power to each person in different departments of your life, because you almost have to run your life like a business. Mm-hmm. And there's different areas, there's different divisions in the relationship, in your life, just like there is in a business. And she talks about giving power to certain people, almost like a manager, like you're the manager of this area. So when you said that, it kind of reminded me of that. Like you're saying like, hey, I'm going to take back my power or like relinquish it to you, even though it was issues in the past with that, you're the manager of this division. Do you have anything else in your relationship that's like that, where like somebody holds, what else? Tell me.
Okay. So we run our relationship like that 100%. So the way that we look at it is, one of us will handle something and we will let the other person know when it's done. So for the most part, if it's a stressful situation, we don't complain to the other person about it. We don't ask for opinions or help unless it's really necessary. So when there is an unpleasant situation, even something like right now, redecorating our bedroom, Adam doesn't want any part of it. He wants to come home one day and have a new bed because our bed is not doing well, and he wants everything to look nice, and he doesn't want to have me like, do you like this one and do you like this one? He just wants me to handle it. Yeah. Bug guys or yard guys, right now we're having an issue with our yard guy. I know that I don't have to deal with it at all. Adam's just going to handle it. Like we both just take on things. Like he will own a task and he just takes care of it. I will own a task and I just take care of it. And yeah, so then the other person doesn't have to have it weigh on them. So it kind of sounds like the same thing. We just take it from each other and we just handle it.
I love that. Is that a conversation that you guys had, or did that just kind of fall in together brilliantly just as you guys as a couple?
No, we had that conversation.
Really?
So when we
So
first
like when? Tell us when the conversation and who initiated it?
Adam initiated it, and he is a terrible gift giver. It's not that he's not generous, but he has a horrible time. It gives him major anxiety to even think about it because he doesn't want to get something that somebody doesn't like. He's not a gift person. He's a thoughtful note, like a very sweet note, handwritten card kind of person. So he had asked before we even moved in together that gifts just be one of the things that I handle. He shows up to an event and it's done. Christmas time comes and the presents are under the tree for all of the kids, including his, because he knows that I am really thoughtful about those things and he doesn't want to stress about it. So I took that from him and I said, okay, well, when we move in together, you can take care of all the finances and the bills. Doesn't mean that I don't contribute, but I don't worry about it because he's taken that. And then we talked about, okay, so here's the way that this has to work. He said it has to work in that for the most part, we just handle it and we don't weigh the other person down with, well, what do you think? And I don't know what to do. And like anything that goes wrong, unless it's a major issue. So we decided early on that that was going to be the case. So we laugh and we joke and we just say, I'm going to task you with this. And it just means, can you be the one to take care of it? And we just do. So
I absolutely love that.
it was a discussion that we had early on.
That's so cool. And I guarantee that there are couples now that are maybe even happy that could use that same exact mindset and hadn't really thought about it before.
Because you have to think about it this way, even if I go through this horrendous experience with something, sometimes you do need to talk about it. But if I call you and I'm like, you'll never guess what happened, and I go into this like hour-long story of all this stuff, it starts to stress you out a little bit because you're like, oh my gosh. And so there's just no need. So that is, and then the other person looks at the person that completed the task like they're this awesome, amazing, wonderful person because they just took care of something.
Yes.
So yeah, that has been a really great thing in our relationship.
Absolutely. Do you have anything to add to Jarius? He's asking a question, or she.
Yes. What about business versus pleasure if we intertwine life with business? You know what? Adam and I have two different jobs, very different. And he, if it were up to him, he wouldn't really talk about work. And he finds it really cute that I'm always asking him a million questions about his day. His mindset is that he doesn't want to like burden me with the issues of work. But I'm so curious because I love him so much and I want to know everything that he's doing. So, that's my choice, is that I want to know about what he's doing, and his choice is that he doesn't complain about work or business to me because unless I ask him, because he just wants things to be pleasant. So I don't know. We're not business partners, so I'm not sure. Maybe you would know, Sabrina.
Yeah. So I would say I'm very much the same as what you were just talking about. There has to be somebody, even if it's 50-50, there has to be somebody in charge. There just has to be somebody who, and it's not like I own the business and I get to tell everybody what to do, but it's I own the business and being comfortable and okay with delegating managers, or in this case, my fiance, Dane, to do certain things or be the manager over certain things. Very similar to what you're saying. I know that when I tell him, when we sit down, because we have our weekly meetings also, there he is right there. We have our weekly meetings also. And I sit down and I say, okay, we just did this like a few days ago. You know, what are you feeling powerful in right now? What area are you feeling powerful in right now that you can work on to help grow our business? And he listed off like 12 different things that he feels he's comfortable doing and that he's capable of doing. and that will improve the business, grow the business exponentially. So we sat down and we brainstormed like 12 ideas, and now he has his tasks, or he's the manager over those areas. I don't have to ask him. I don't have to prod him on, did you do this? Did you do that? He just has his list, and he's going through his list and marking things off as he does it. And then we would re-meet again, in another week or so, once the tasks are almost done or whatever, and then re-up again. What are you working on? What can you be doing? What do you feel powerful in? Because sometimes in life it changes. Like you are doing what you're doing right now as far as work goes, but if something changes, not necessarily you, Jessica, but just the audience, if you're in charge of the household and taking care of the house, but then all of a sudden you have to go get a job, that means the household chores might be divided differently now. Dinner might be divided differently. Sweeping might be divided differently than the way that it was before. So it's always good to kind of come together and recalibrate to make sure it's still working for everybody.
That makes a lot of sense.
100%.